I am a little at a loss as what to talk about. I know, not a great sign being only 4 episodes in, but it's a thing, you know? Probably should have got ice. Probably should have poured less. Probably should have got a mixer. Probably should have done a lot of things differently. But I didn't. And I kind of wonder why. I wonder why I did things this way. I wonder why I continue to do things the way that I do them. I feel like everybody does and should for a lot of reasons. To reflect on what you've done and where you think you're gonna go. And it does something too, you know? To take time, just be alone with your thoughts. But then I think about, why do it at all? Why get to this place that pushes you and brings you to these less than comfortable zones? And then I realized it. It's because I wanted it. I want it. I'll continue to want it. And when I get more and I get better and I have everything that I've ever wanted, I'll want even more than that. I am insatiably greedy and I'm happy with that. But that didn't come about overnight. Something brought me here. Something made me want this in the first place. Something inspired me. And I look back and I wonder what that was, what it did, what it continues to do, and where all this inspiration comes from. And obviously it comes from film to some extent, television, video games, music, life, relationships, and even myself. And I think that's probably the best thing to talk about today, is what is inspiration, what it does to your work, and what it means to follow the things that inspire you. And obviously the things that inspire anyone are so incredibly varied that it'd be physically impossible to cover this, even if I made this my longest video yet, which it may or may not be. I've kind of stopped caring about the length at this point. If you've stuck in this long, you know what sort of show this is. You can sit here and look at me and see a meme every few minutes, or you can put this in the background as you scroll through Facebook. I'm totally open to either, as long as you click. I mean, as long as you learn something from these videos. So, inspiration. That's not true. I have a ton of inspirations. A lot of things inspire me, and the last one, even myself. This isn't to to my own horn or anything, but I think we all inspire ourselves. When you accomplish something and you see the fruits of your labor, you're kind of inspired to do more. And in that moment, you've inspired yourself. When you see work that really hits you in a certain point, in a certain way, that inspires you to do more. So there is not a lack of inspiration out there, but there can be a lack of allowing yourself to be inspired. So this one's kind of to help anyone who's feeling that rut, as well as, not gonna lie, a bit of a time capsule for myself. At some point, I think I may fall into a rut again, and hearing this might help me as well as anybody else who sees this. So, in case you haven't learned the gist by yet, going through it, we take out our phones, we turn them off, we put them down, we pour ourselves a drink. I will go slow. We just sit back and we enjoy. So, the first part is what inspires me? The thing that has probably pushed me the hardest in life is definitely going to be both failure and pain. Not to sound like one of those like starving artist types, but I've gone through a bit. I mean, granted, what I've gone through hasn't exactly like killed me or pushed me to the meh. It's pushed me. But pain is definitely a big inspiration because it's allowed me to write things that I'm not super comfortable expressing in any other way. It's shown me that, there's a few emotions I can draw upon for certain parts that I get engaged in. It's allowed me to just enjoy highs a lot better than if I hadn't had them at all. And in doing so, it makes me want to tell those stories in a manner that like a lot more people can enjoy. Whenever I'm creating anything, whether I'm writing or I'm acting or directing, I've never liked to spoon feed because I feel like if you do too much explaining, then you're just not allowed to enjoy it the way that you want to. I've always been a big proponent of anything that I've ever written. And I think I'm a pretty competent writer, and a lot of people have enjoyed what I've created, but I don't believe my work is Rosetta Stone. So if you have some deviations that you want to make, then please, live your best life. Like we'll find a compromise. And because I don't think there's a specific way that you need to experience it. And that's kind of what my inspirations have done. Like things that have truly inspired me and made me want to do more. There isn't like a specific way that, like, if I recommended them, then I'm saying, oh, if you don't do it this way, you're insane. So, a few things that I'm going to mention here. Let's start with probably one of my biggest and longest running inspirations. If you know me well enough, you know exactly who it is that I'm talking about. It's Will Smith. That's the reason that I want to do any of this in the first place. I've watched his show when I was a kid. I've watched most of his movies. Sorry, After Earth probably isn't going to happen. Suicide Squad neither. But everything else, gold, man. Hope to work with you one day. Please don't be one of those terrible Hollywood cult members that I have to fear. Please. Don't be your heroes, kids. But yeah, I liked his energy. I like the fact that he got a little bit more involved as he went on. Say what you will about After Earth, but the fact is that it was something that he wanted to do. So he stuck to my golden rule for, content creation, and that is make what you want to see. So on that level, I know I'll definitely see it one day, even if I don't want to, because it's something that, someone I enjoy created. They wanted to make it. Another big inspiration as far as like content creation is going to be Nostalgia Critic. He's the reason I look at any sort of work with a critical lens. I love Nostalgia Critic. Doug Walker, the creator of Nostalgia Critic and one of the big heads at Channel Awesome, has been doing it for years. And there was a point where he made a show called Demo Reel. And Demo Reel did not stick with fans quite the way that he wanted it to, but it had been a project that he wanted to work on for a long time. And unfortunately, it did end up getting canceled by the creators because it didn't quite get the reception that he was looking for it to receive. But he had a moment. And it was a very nice episode. It was the final episode of Demo Reel. And he talked to his former self, the Nostalgia Critic. as he appears in all the episodes where he critiques, and he says, he's like, I didn't want to do this anymore. I was done with Nostalgia Critic. I was done with you. And his former self says, you don't hate this. You never did. You never stopped loving it. In fact, you did it so long you forgot how much you loved it. And
I know you still got a hunger for both.
It ran its course.
Listen to yourself. You got so sick and tired of it that you actually forgot that you enjoyed it. Remember?
Every single time you thought you were done with it, you came up with something better. When you had time to think, time to focus, time to put that extra effort in. But you had anniversary movies, conventions, other shows, your own life to live. All while trying to write, act, and edit a 20-minute video every single week. Face it, buddy. You weren't done yet. You just hit burnout.
I think that, I mean, like, he says a lot of shit that just, like, resonates with my soul. But I think that one hit the hardest because when you do something for so long and you're not getting what you want out of it when you first started, when I first started this, my first idea was the same people that hired Siskel and Ebert are going to see the show online. They're going to come down to my house, they're going to knock, they're going to bring a free Lamborghini, keys to a mansion, the spare keys to the Playboy Mansion, couple $1 million, maybe a few beers. And but obviously that's not how it goes. I could do 100 of these and I may not reach that status, and I may not ever reach that status. So you have to do this because you want to do it. You have to love what you're doing, whether it's film, whether it's art, whether it's business, whether it's anything. You have to be doing it because you want to do it. And one of my teachers, another longtime conspirator, said this best. He said to our class, his name's Sean McLaughlin. He worked on Batman Beyond as well as a ton of other shows. He was one of my teachers, and he's a good guy. Bit of a smart ass, but like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So I very much took to him, and he said, if you are doing this because you want to be rich and famous, if you're doing this because you want to make money, you want to get rich being a filmmaker, my best advice to you is to learn the stock market. And a lot of the classes,
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they won't.
Okay. And he wasn't wrong. No, if you want to get rich, like, learn the stock market. Seriously. Save up about 10, 20 grand over the course of a few years. Learn the stocks. Spend your money wisely, and you'll be a millionaire definitely before you die if you just learn it. It's not easy to, get that started, but it's definitely a way more financially feasible plan than trying to become a filmmaker starting from zero. As much as that sucks, but it doesn't suck because this isn't a thing that you do for the money. They don't call it the starving artist for nothing. This is not the money pit of the world. Like, you can find something better to do. But if you're doing this because you love telling stories, because you love creating new personas, because you love the lights and the cameras, because you love being in charge of this facet of the world, if you love doing anything, if you love the people, if you love the outcomes, if you love the process, this is what you do, and this is why you do it. You don't do it for the money or anything else like that. Which brings me to one of my next big inspirations, and that one's going to be Uncharted series. So Uncharted hits for a few reasons. Like,
in case you need a reminder.
Hey, come on, leave him out of it.
Yeah, don't you guys usually just cut off a finger or something?
I'm sweating like a hooker in church.
You brought a hooker to church?
Why not?
Hey, you know what? After this is over and done with, I'm gonna get a dog.
Hey, we
Come out of this in one piece, I'll buy you the damn dog.
Can I name it Victor?
Sure.
Okay, it's just a jump. Count to 5. Pull the cord. How hard could that be? Oh, crap.
And yeah, Drake. Drake is an awesome character, and what he does and why he does what he does is spirit of adventure. He loves to have fun with it. He loves traveling the world. He loves meeting these new people and experiencing these new locales. He just going out there and having the time of his life is why he's doing it. He's not doing it to become a billionaire. He's definitely amassed like enough relics and old-timey gimmicks and shit and unearthed a whole bunch of historical sites, enough so that he could definitely be rich at this point. He does not need to keep going. Does it because he wants to do it. And that's one of the characters that helped me write one of like my favorite projects, which I hope to be able to make one day. The other big inspiration that's of largely the same vein would be Dipper from Gravity Falls. And that's another character who just like had fun doing what he was doing. He enjoyed the world that he lived in. He enjoyed everything about the adventure, and it made him want to do more. And watching that made me really want to do more. And I love seeing characters that are like that. As much as I love the gray, gritty anti-hero that stands between good and evil, I think I very much enjoy seeing an upbeat character who's just loving life. I think we all kind of do, which is why comedies have started to rise with the advent of the self-deprecating memes. It's just nice to see characters enjoying what they're doing and doing what they enjoy. And that brings me to probably one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to storytelling of any kind. And that is To Nobody's Surprise. The web slinger himself, Spidey. And he's gonna get his own video one day. I actually already have that one kind of lined up as far as what I want to talk about and stuff like that. But it's just nice seeing a character with so much power and resources and everything at his disposal. Seriously. But like current day Spider-Man in the comics is an adult who still kind of doesn't have his shit together, and it's kind of amazing to see that almost probably a thousand or more volumes, he still is kind of a fucking mess. And I feel like a lot of people like that. They resonate with it, you know? That, you know, you could work hard and things backfire. You could be awesome and still not be the best. You could try hard and sometimes still fail, and, you know, the fact that he still puts on a smile and says that he wouldn't trade it all for the world it's big. It's nice to see in a character. It's nice to see in a story. It's nice to see that regardless of what goes on, like being human is still like part of the everyday job that we all have. And to keep going, I think that's really good to see in a character. I think that's good to see in a story. Even though he's surrounded by sometimes some of the worst people ever, the most vile, he loves it. And that's when I started to think. I was like, you know what? I had to stop and think long and hard. Do I love filmmaking? Because this shit does drive me nuts sometimes. The expenses, the drives, the people. And then I think about my first project.
Hear anything. Well, those aren't words. Say anything.
How are you? How's it going? Hey, Stuart, you're a dick. How's that? Oh no, some dude from the turban just stole my beautiful.
Everybody's a fucking comedian, huh?
Busy. Mr. Crane, was it?
Yeah.
So if you mind telling me exactly what you came here for? Fuck you, asshole!
I'm gonna go.
Oh my god.
My nose is just.
Jim, just put on a paper bag. Because apparently, Meg can't take shit seriously by staring at Jim's face. First, she pours him an inhuman amount of alcohol. Hey, drink one. Do you want half a glass of whiskey? Yeah, sure, I'd love it. It's not gonna kill me at all. That snort's so going in the blooper reel. I said the snort's going in the blooper reel.
I think about my most recent project. I think about all the times that I've had working with other creators and stuff like that, and I realize I do love it. It definitely frustrates me at times, as does anything, but I love it. And I think that learning what you love it's gonna be hard. There's a saying, it's not my favorite, definitely not. If you work doing what you love, then you never work a day in your life. I don't think that's true. I think anything that you love still requires work, whether it be relationships. Please keep that one out there, because this was shot around Valentine's Day. So for all of you like going out there, if this is up by Valentine's Day, like, relationships take work too, even if you do have love. Passions take love. When it comes to filmmaking. I know me personally, I'm spending money on the website Skillshare. I kind of battled with that one, but I need to learn and I need to keep growing. And even if I am gonna be making a lot more money than I'm already making right now when it comes to film, like, I need to work. You have to work and you have to spend money, and it's not easy. If it was easy, if anything at all in this world that allowed you to do well in life was easy, everyone would do it. And then the bar would raise and it'd get a lot harder, so then everyone wouldn't do it. So it's a lot of work and you gotta love it. And you have to put in as much time and energy, and you will definitely work a day in your life even if you do what you love. It's unavoidable. But the last of these inspirations that I'm at least going to talk about here is it's me. So the filmmaker I am today versus the filmmaker I was when I first started is not even close. Not even talking about equipment or the connections that I have and things like that. I have obviously a better understanding of film than I did when I first started out, and there's something that comes with that growth and experience. There's something that comes with it that just makes you better, and every time you make another project and you look at the previous ones, you're like, that could have been better, this could have been worked on, I could have done more, anything. Like, a lot of things change, and you constantly look at yourself through sort of the looking glass, as if watching yourself working on those previous projects, and you start to think, that was good, I could do this, or that was bad, I should have done that. And you grow. And to say that you aren't an inspiration is absolutely insane in my mind. You are an inspiration. You're an inspiration to those that you spend time with. People bounce off each other all the time, and you're an inspiration to yourself. And as long as you can maintain some of it, it's hard to stay at 100% all the time, I know it, and to tell anybody that they need to is a high request. But keep at it, and you will continue to inspire yourself, you'll continue to grow, and you'll reach that point. BoJack Horseman, not the character, but one of the other characters in the show, said it to him as he's slowly working out again. He's trying to jog and get in shape so he can get up the hill, which I'm sure is a strong metaphor for something, as everything in that show is. But there's a hill right outside his house that he's trying to run up and make it up the hill. And he runs and he runs. He couldn't make it up at all throughout the entire episode. He finally makes it to the top of the house. And there's a character that's been running outside his house every day for a few episodes now. He finally makes it to the top. He did it. And then he collapses because it wasn't easy. And he's just looking up at the sky. He's just looking up in pain, sweating, drained already from the shorter run. And an older individual comes up to him, leans over, and he says, well, he says this.
Oh God, lungs on fire. Ow, crap. I hate this. Running is terrible. Everything is the worst. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It gets easier.
Huh?
Every day it gets a little easier.
Yeah?
But you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. But it does get easier.
Okay.
This will probably be the shortest video, seeing as far as I've reached. Because what inspires you, as I said in the beginning, is, well, could be a lot. Should be a lot. Never stop getting inspired. Something that kind of pushed me into going back into it, which kind of threw me for a loop. It's actually music. I don't consider myself a musician by any means, any long-reaching stretch of the imagination. But music kind of pushed me to write, because when I heard certain songs, it made me think of certain scenes, and these scenes made me think of doing certain projects, and I was like, you know what would be awesome? And I turned that into something. And I think I want everyone in the world to listen to some lo-fi hip-hop to chill and relax to, because that will help you clear your head. Hopefully, it definitely worked for me. And check out a channel doing so much promotion. I should start getting paid. Check out a channel on YouTube. It's called Avian Cloud. And I've heard so much music on there that just kind of helped me mellow or think or push, or, just big, budget, famous mainline songs are cool, and a lot of them I still enjoy, even though the mainstream is so, yes, but no, it's the mainstream's mainstream for a reason. But channels like this I wish blew up more, because just their music is so powerful and should be in so much more projects that yeah. But yeah, when I started listening to the music, it made me want to do more again. And it's just easy to relax to. And I think that relaxing for a head like mine that's constantly spinning gears and pushing out smoke, that definitely helps. And I hope it helps a lot of people, especially ones that would click on a video about inspirations. Probably needs to just breathe. If you breathe, you'll probably get back into the groove that you're looking for. Don't always have to push. You'll reach it. Promise. Or Scout's honor. And then for the last bit, I'm gonna end this video a little quicker than the rest is don't stop getting inspired. I know that's like a hard one. How do you like stop or allow inspiration? And it's just more, let yourself experience more, you know? If you don't want to go out, I get that. Not everybody wants to go out and do crazy things all the time. But don't stop yourself from enjoying things. Allow yourself to experience it. It took me a long time to realize things like money just aren't the most important. And money will definitely stop you from doing a lot of things that allow for life to be fun or enjoyable. But if you don't escape that mindset soon, you'll find yourself chasing something that you're not going to reach in a normal way. And wanting more out of life is definitely big, but wanting that more to come financially is, if it's not in the cards for you, it's not in the cards for you. So enjoy what you have. Make the most out of what you have and what you love and what you do. And then you'll start getting the other things. But those other things won't come until you are in the moment and not chasing something in the future. And that's what really helps me move. That's what's pushed me to the next level time and time again. That's what's convinced me to dig these lights and cameras out and really start pushing by myself instead of waiting for life to happen. That's what inspired me. So I hope all of you have enjoyed this, have learned something, have brought a little bit out, and I hope this helps you get out of the funk that you were looking for inspiration from. I hope maybe that this just pushes you to dig deeper and go further as someone who creates. Or if you're not at all in the filmmaking industry, I hope this just helps you push more and get more out of life and realize what's truly pushing you in whatever it is that you seek or do. Regardless, I hope that you got something out of this. Even if you may not have learned a lot, since I didn't get super technical, but I do hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Anyway, this one's to you. 1,000 years from now.
You know, I know he passed away a year and a half ago, but you know, that scene has taken on a life of its own on the internet, you know, with you and Ben Vereen and Why He Don't Want Me No More. It makes everybody cry. Like, what was the source of inspiration for that particular scene?
Yeah, you know, it's funny, like that, the behind the scenes of that, James Avery was relentlessly on me to elevate. Like, James Avery wouldn't give me a damn inch. Like, everything I said, everything I did for James Avery was like, nope, not good enough. You know, he was like, if you have this position, look where you are, look what you are blessed with. He was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not accepting anything other than absolute committed perfection from you. And at that time, I was balling, you know, so I was, and James Avery wouldn't give me nothing. And it's like, he was the model for me of an actor, you know? Craft. So the craft, it's like James Avery was no bullshit. Like, he was so like serious, and like I would look at him and he just had that acting power that I wanted to have, right? And you know, he was listening to my music and nope. 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 And so we're doing that scene, and I'm having a hard time getting the scene.
So he's off on the side watching the scene?
He's, he was off because we were rehearsing and everything. So, and then it comes to the moment, and we're in the scene together, right? So we're doing it, and I'm messing up the lines because I want it so bad. And we're in front of the audience, and I'm doing it, and I'm furious. And he holds on me. He says, "Hey," he's like, "Relax, relax. It's already in there. You know what it is." He was like, "Look at me. Use me. Don't act around me. Act with me." He's like, so he's talking me through it and everything, so I get it together. So I do the scene and, the thing, and he hugs me at the end. And while he's hugging me, he whispers in my ear, he said, "That's fucking acting right there."
Wow.